Hold up.
Hey guys, it's Jaden from Tech for Days, and today we're here with the Redpepper float for the iPhone 5. This is a swimming waterproof case that actually floats in the water, which is really cool. There's so many different kind of features. It's waterproof, dirtproof, snowproof, shockproof, and it's really awesome. It looks freaking cool. It's huge. Here's some features. You can be under 2 meters of water and you'll be able to survive with your iPhone. It's fully sealed from minute dust particles. It's military designed, so it does withstand those 2-meter drops. Crystal clear anti-reflective optical glass lens for high quality images. So that's great. There's a sound enhancement system which improves the audio quality. All microphone and speaker vents are waterproof, featuring clear voice clarity technology. There's an ultra flat screen protection which ensures full function of your screens, and there's a special process which makes the floating in the water, which is how it's worded. So there's a little grammatical error right there. So it does float. There's a special, I guess, maybe some type of styrofoam in there or something that allows it to float. And that's pretty awesome right there. Here on the back, we have some additional like branding and stuff. It says it's 6 proofs: dirt proof, dust, sand, grit, mud. There's a bunch of just different kind of stuff. It says radiation protection. So that's really interesting. You can have your phone by radiation and it's going to resist radiation. That's I don't even know what to say. That's just freaking awesome. I'm stuttering over here. That's just so cool. It says anti-settling, so again, it can float, which is freaking awesome. It's shockproof, snowproof, waterproof, dirtproof. As we went over, the 2 new ones are radiation and anti-settling, which is really cool. And it says Redpepper gives your device freedom to take anywhere, to go anywhere. The grammatical words on here is just a little bit off, which is why I sound weird. And it also has a headphone adapter, which actually allows you to use it in any weather. Looks pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and just open it up. Again, I do think that they need to work on the wording because it's just throwing me off. It doesn't sound right. It's grammatically incorrect. And here's the case itself. It's huge. It says stop, and you have to pay attention to this checklist which tells you to water test it and such. And then it says float for the iPhone 5. And then we have a nice little microfiber cloth, and then this humongous thing right here. It's sold by Easylife, so it has their branding on it. Easylife is a pretty awesome company. They reached out to me to actually review this product, which looks freaking awesome. We have our nice little rubber seal around here, and our iPhone would go inside of this portion. So let's get the iPhone 5S. It doesn't have any tempered glass or cases. It's just a bare 5S. Now I'm not exactly sure how to get this in there since it's just a little bit weird. I'm guessing you slide it in or something. It's not compatible with the Touch ID, unfortunately, so that's just a little bit depressing. And here we have our little mute switch, which actually allows you to mute the device. And it looks pretty awesome already. It does seem to be pressing on the home button, so we'll go ahead and put this cover on it just to see how it looks. It's a very huge case, and I'm really just shocked by the amount of just bulkiness and the amount of protection this thing looks like it'll actually give you. So it's pretty freaking crazy. It's a little bit hard to get on because of the design. So you do have to wrestle with it a little bit and put a little pressure on certain areas so you can actually get it closed. So there we go, we finally got it closed, and wow, this thing is just giant. It's humongous. The 5S is really deep in there, as you guys can see. And for some reason, Siri keeps turning on. For some reason, the home button keeps pressing on the Siri. So that's already an issue right there. The home screen appears to be fine, but it seems like I can't double click or go home. So that's just a little bit depressing right there. It might be because the 5S home button is just a little bit more engraved in the device, so it won't let me actually press the home button, which is just kind of bad. Now the screen is pretty responsive with this touchscreen. I will have to actually use the assistive touch to actually go home. if that works. This appears to be really messing with the device. So it looks really nice and it's pretty light. It doesn't add any weight, and it does have their nice little Easylife branding, as you guys can see, and here are the 6 proofs in the back. It just looks really awesome, and I'm pretty sure and pretty confident that this can take a really nice impact. Now I can tell that this has been optimized for the 5S. As you guys can see, there is a longer flash, but the home button is definitely not, and you won't be able to use it to actually go home. You might have to use the assistive touch, because in my specific version it's really unresponsive. And let's go ahead and give a little audio sample right here as we have the music app open.
This is Girl Tracks.
So it's actually pretty muffled, and it does give a little bit more clarity or boost to the treble, but I wouldn't say that it actually amplifies or makes the sound any better. It just kind of, you know, messes with it and makes it sound like it's more clear, but it's not necessarily clear. And then we have our little headphone port right here, which I'm not exactly sure how to open it, so we have to figure that out. I think there's a little cutout right here that we actually have to unclip. Yeah, there we go. And then you can actually screw in this nice little headphone adapter that comes with the Redpepper, and you just screw it in, and it's really long because the case or the phone is really deep inside of the case. And so you screw that in and you can actually listen to music without any materials getting in there. It's pretty tight, and it is weatherproof, so nothing's gonna mess up your device. You can go ahead and listen to your music while you're on the go. And here you have a little speaker. That's where the speakers are actually down firing to give you a little bit better clarity. And again, it is messing with my home button, so I actually can't go home. I am going to take apart the case and see if I can get the home button to work. Maybe there's something in there that's causing this to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in a second. So guys, I was actually able to fix the home button ever so slightly, and then this happened again. So I think it has something to do with the little clips inside of the case that's actually pushing on the phone, maybe just too hard. Since these little
I don't know what you mean by swipe.
Okay, Siri. So that, as you can see, it is actually working. If you guys can hear that clip. But once I actually put the backing on, these little like tubes push on the phone a little bit too hard, and then it's unable to click. So right now you guys can hear it clicking. I'm hoping you can hear it. It is clicking, but when I do put on this backing, it is gonna prevent the clicking. As you guys can see, Siri was enabled, so that's already a bad sign right there. And it is a little bit difficult to get on. You do have to wrestle it, and I am unable to click it. There's no type of clicking, and there is a little bit of a noise because I think the case is like just not properly, you know, allowing me to actually push the button anymore since this backing is pushing on the phone. So that's just a really downfall, but again, it is fixable with the assistive touch, but the assistive touch is still unresponsive at times since it is pushing on the home button, so the phone gets kind of confused. So it is just a little bit inaccurate at times, but I do think this is a really awesome case. You can definitely drop it however you want, and your phone's gonna be perfectly fine. So that's just really awesome right there. And I just love how like crazy big it is, because I really think that this is gonna be totally fine. And we can go ahead and do a mini drop test with this phone. We'll do it from my room on the hardwood floors. I don't want to go too crazy since this isn't exactly my phone anymore since I got a new one. So we're gonna go ahead and do a nice little drop test for it. Again, you can't really press the home button on the 5S. You might be able to with the 5. I'm really not sure what the issue is there with the home button. Nothing is really affecting it. There's no cases, there's no screen protectors, there's nothing on it. So let's go ahead and set up for our drop test. Okay guys, so here we are. The phone is going to be dropped from around, I would say, this is probably around 4 feet, which is right at the brim or the top of the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop it. And as you guys can see, the case didn't even crack open, which is a very good sign. We can go ahead and drop it just a little bit higher. So I'm going to actually drop it from above my head, and I am around 5'11". So this is going to be about 7 feet, and we'll see what happens. And that was great. that was a pretty great, actually no it wasn't. As you guys can see, the case actually cracked and it went open, and that was definitely, I wouldn't even say 7 feet. That was probably like 6.5, and it was definitely not able to take that. So that's just a little bit disappointing. I wouldn't say that was 7 feet because my ceilings are only, you know, maybe 10 feet high, so that was definitely not 8 feet. So that was just a little bit disappointing that this actually cracked and we can no longer use it, and it's no longer you know, protective from the elements. So that's just a little bit disappointing. Maybe it's my floor or something, but I'm pretty sure if this hit concrete, it would have a much worse impact. So let's go ahead and get back to the workbench and analyze this problem a little bit better. So guys, we are back at the workbench, and I did reanalyze the drop height, and it was about 6.5 feet, and it does say protection, or kind of, they almost guarantee it in here. It does say military drop tested to 6.6 feet, and that it will meet or exceed the military standards. Now, I think that's a little bit disappointing since it just cracked right away. It's cracked pretty bad, and it's just no longer useful. Now, the good thing is your $850 or whatever you paid for your iPhone is perfectly safe and sound, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, if you did drop it hard enough, I would think maybe from like a building or something, if you're a construction worker, I don't know if your device would necessarily sustain that amount of fall, or if this case would actually sustain that amount of fall. It's just a little bit rough, and it's no longer waterproof anymore. So I think that was, I'm not sure exactly what caused that to break. Maybe just all the device, just all of the weight just impacted on this one corner. But I mean, it did a pretty good job. The case is not demolished, it's still usable, and it's still somewhat seals, just not against water. Now, in my book, that was a really good job since it was kind of a hard fall. The iPhone 5S is kind of a heavy device, so that wasn't too bad. But I do think it should have definitely not cracked or chipped, since it does say it's military drop tested to 2 meters, and that was barely 2 meters. So that's just a little bit disappointing. If anything, it should have been able to pass 2 meters, since 2 meters is, according to this box, they make it sound like 2 meters is just the bare minimum. Now, it was able to float in water, I'm pretty sure, by the amount of air in it and just the material. So it is a pretty cool case, and it's very, very affordable, so you do get what you pay for with this case. And, you know, I had a great time testing it out for you. My device is unscratched, nothing wrong with it. It worked very well, and you do get a bunch of accessories. You get a nice little microfiber cloth and to clean this screen. And it would be cool if they made a 5S version so you can actually use the fingerprint button or the home button, whatever you guys want to call it, Touch ID. And it would be nice if you can actually use Touch ID or the home button in general, because the case just wouldn't let me, as you guys saw. There's a little rubber piece in here, but I'm afraid if I took that off, it just wouldn't protect the home button. Now, that's it for this review. This was a pretty fun review to make. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And of course, if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can purchase this case from Easylife at the description or the description link below. They're a really awesome company. They have such cool stuff, and I have one of these for the Samsung Galaxy S5, except it's a metal. It's like an aluminum metal, so we're going to definitely drop test that on some concrete, possibly. We'll see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again. Ask any questions, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.